I was watching first of all, good morning, fellow YouTubers. I was watching a YouTube video this morning, though, that said that in the end days, end of time, the last days, whatever you want to call it, that priests are going to really be sought upon by demons more than ever priests. Now, this guy wasn't a priest, but so, you know, I mean, you guys that have followed me a little bit, you know that I've been searching around for a good Catholic church. You know, some just got a much better feeling within them than others, partly due to the parishioners and partly due to the priests and just the whole makeup. So, I went to a few. The one I liked most was a little bit farther, so I wasn't considering it as much as trying to find one of these two or three that were closer. So going to this one, I went to confession there twice, went to mass there once, but then Sunday night I got my kids to go to this 5 o'clock Sunday mass for teens. Okay, so it was really kind of strange though, because hello, because I'm trying to figure out how to put it into words, because I'm sorry. So anyways, I didn't know if this guy was a priest or not. I find out later that he was a deacon, but he's dressed in the full garb like a priest. But obviously he wasn't the one making the transformation of the body and blood, the bread and the wine. Okay, but he does this lecture for like 10 or 15 minutes. And he literally wouldn't look. As I said, I brought my teenagers, so there's 3 of us. He wouldn't even look in our direction. He only spoke to the whole, like half the congregation that was not over by us. Now granted, there was only about 9 people on our half of the pews. And there was probably around 20 or 25 on the other side. But he literally only spoke to one half of the congregation, the entire lecture, 10, 15 minutes, and never even glanced at us over on this side. It was really strange, bizarre. And then after he did his 10-minute thing, there was still like 20 minutes left where he just kind of stood behind the altar while the priest was doing all the normal aspects of Mass. The whole 20 minutes, he just stared at me and my 2 teenagers, and he wouldn't look away. Like when I only like maybe 4 times did I look right into his eyes, but he would just burn a hole into my eyes when I would make eye contact until I glanced away. Every time I looked back, he was zeroed in on me. So I felt very uncomfortable, very unwelcomed. And then I wasn't gonna say anything, but when I got in the car, my kids mentioned it about what was going on. That was bizarre. And you know, the only thing we could come up with was my son had a t-shirt on, but he had slacks and nice shoes, and my daughter was dressed nice. So I don't know, but I did go to confession there twice. So it crossed my mind that the priest that was saying the Mass heard one of my confessions. I'm wondering if he shared what my sins were with this deacon. Obviously, I mean, they're not supposed to break that no matter what. You can say I just murdered someone, and they're not allowed to break that vow of the confirmation. I mean, of your confession. So it shouldn't be that. I don't think it could. I was reverent. My son did put his hands in his pockets once, and I corrected him. He did have a brown t-shirt on. But you know, a lot of people, even religious religious people these days go to mass pretty casually dressed. I've seen guys in shorts and Hawaiian shirts. Anyways, it was strange, but I was gonna join that church. Up until that day, we felt so uncomfortable. I did kind of share some in the confession, share some, I don't know. The guy also talked about how he's so happy these teenagers are out there marching and supporting Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter, as we know, is communism and socialists, and that is directly opposed 180 degrees from Christianity and Catholicism. So, and they're tearing down all Catholic statues. Even Mary is getting defaced. So it's a weird world we're living in, and I can't make heads or tails of it. But bizarre. I mean, the way this guy was staring at us, it was like demonic. It reminded me of the way my sister-in-law stares at me. She hates my guts, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if she has a few demons in her. But really strange, you know. I mean, Christianity is you welcome new parishioners with open arms, and you know, every church would want new members. That means new offerings every month, new, you know, more money. People, I was trying to get my kids into the First Holy Communion classes and me into the confirmation classes. They would have been making bank on us. Just strange. So I knew I was going to come into some weird things when I tried to find a good Catholic church, but I didn't really think I would be hated. The first time this deacon, he's not even a priest, first time this deacon ever saw me, made me feel so uncomfortable. So I called this morning and let the secretary that I've been talking with about arranging these classes, I let her know that I'm never coming back. That guy was so focused on us with a feeling, a vibe, a negativity. And every time I looked at him, he was staring at me and he wouldn't look away. He had a mean look in his eyes. I think the guy's possessed demonically, because that's just bizarre. And then he's talking about how it's good that we have this faction that's going around destroying the city, destroying all of our religious statues, and is wanting a system that's directly opposed to us being able to continue in our faith and our worship. So, weird, man. I just thought I'd post that. So everyone be careful out there. Keep one eye on the Eucharist and one eye on the priest.